Okay, we are still with Ike in the building. Please, Mr. Ike, tell us, what is your state of opinion for the country currently?
I think South Africa at the moment, it's a failing state because if you check what the state should be providing, be it housing, be it education, be it security, be it transport, be it hospitals, we are all dependent on the private sector or private services. Unless you are poor, you need to go to a public hospital. But at the moment, people are using private securities. Transport, we are using Uber. The state has collapsed when it comes to transport. We used to have Patco buses, there are no more. SAA will be sold. We won't have a national airline. The railway system has been destroyed by foreigners coming here in South Africa. Actually, what the foreigners are doing in South Africa, it is treason. And every South African should be up in arms about what the foreigners are doing in South Africa.
Please tell us, you always have references and bad things to say about foreign people. How is it that you never target the white foreigners that come into the country?
Look, I find that question unfair because people, they target issues that are closer to their hearts, issues that are in proximity, or issues that are challenging them on day-to-day basis. On day-to-day basis, people are facing human trafficking, which is perpetuated by Nigerians. Fake products, which make our people to get sick, pushed by African foreigners, Ethiopians, Somalis. Robberies, brutal crimes, Zimbabweans. Our CBDs, are flooded with Zimbabweans doing all sorts of crimes and Nigerians giving our people drugs. And when people say that we don't target whites, we do target white people. They are Chinese. We do have, or I do have, a case against the Chinese. I have a case against Israeli mafia, Cyprus mafia, the Dutch East India Mafia who came here 1652. When we say we want land, we don't want land from Zimbabweans. We want land from those foreigners who came 1652. When we say economic transformation, we're challenging those, but will not keep quiet as South Africans simply because the foreigner now looks like me. South Africans have been battling foreigners since 1652, and will not be quiet because now the foreigner has my skin color, but we are targeting, or I am targeting, all foreigners who are coming here with bad intentions, because people who are coming here, they come with the intention to displace our people, violate our people, cut railway lines.
But then sabotage the country, basically. I like that and I understand that. But do you not
Yes.
feel as though that's a generalization? Are there no good foreigners? And subsequently, is your war against foreigners or is your war against foreign criminals?
Let me say this. When you say generalization, it's good. Because even statistics, when you use statistics, you generalize. When you say South Africa has 60 million people, you're generalizing because you don't count people to the last person and say 60 million plus 2,000 minus or plus, So we generalize every day. We lock our doors. We lock our cars because we generalize that South Africa has crime. We are generalizing. Why don't we open our houses at night? Because they are good people. Because we don't want to generalize. We generalize. I generalize that snakes are dangerous. There are snakes that are not poisonous, but the cost of not generalizing, it's very high to pay. So it is safer to generalize. Statistics are based on generalization. When I say so many people depend on grants, that's a generalization because you don't count up to the last person. So there's nothing wrong with generalization. When I say the Germans kill the Jewish people, obvious it's not all Germans, but in the main, When I say the Afrikaners oppressed us, not all up to the last. There were those who joined the ANC, but pay us not yet. So it is okay to generalize. And people, when they say generalizing, they think that they have said something big. I also lost the last part of your question.
I wanted to know whether you're targeting foreign criminals or foreigners as a whole. However, though, I want to know, do you think it is the foreigners' fault, or is it our government and our politicians and our systems of allowing and admitting people in that's at fault here?
Let me answer you this way. If there's a snake in my bathroom, how it got there, that's my last concern. I'm going to deal with the snake first. And then I will worry about how it got in here. Then I'll worry about loopholes. So therefore, our government are the loopholes. But people cannot come to South Africa and violate us. And then each time we raise this question, they say, but it is your government. It is your government. It's the same as when a woman is being raped. Then you say, but it is your fault. Why didn't you do 1, 2, 3 to protect yourself? But you say nothing about the perpetrator. We must condemn the perpetrator because the perpetrator has evil intentions. He comes into the country to push his evil deeds. We must condemn that. Yes, I also condemn our government. They are not going scot-free. I condemn them the most because they do have power. Our people vote for them to put South Africans first, like same way as Zimbabweans. They put their own people, Namibians, they put their own people first. Everybody's putting their own people first, besides or except South Africa.
Nicely answered. And with that being said, what is your opinion on our politicians today?
Look, our politicians, they are criminals. They are criminals. Just manje. We are from a hard lockdown in 2 years. Our politicians, they were earning their salaries. The state president, who's a billionaire, he never said people are losing their jobs, people are not working, artists are not working, soccer players are not playing soccer. Let me be seen to be in solidarity with them, cut my salary. Was going to lose nothing. Politicians in parliament, including the oppositions, they're all subsidized. They don't need to to use their salaries, but they were not. They were on the other side. They were against the people, and they're subjecting us to this, I call it, unnecessary lockdowns, and of which over a mild flu phela leyesishayayo. So we didn't need ukuthi size sivale country because people are exaggerating i-mild flu ukuthi siyafa manje kumele sijovwe. Yabo sijove and sijovelwa ini because lokhu the so-called flu, it has 98% recovery rate, but we are told abo-Bill Gates ukuthi kumele silandele, including those who are said to be revolutionaries, but they are siding with the imperialists. And then you wonder why bafuna sijove sisifaka ama-poison which have never, the poison yakhona has never been tested on humans before.
Nice. And then with politicians having the power and not using them, how influential do you think our African chiefs and African kings and kingdoms could have played? What role could they have played to influence at all this pandemic and the decisions taken thereof?
Yeah, before I get to the African chief, just to finish it off on the politicians, our people, they need to get to a point where they punish those that have elected if they don't do right. Those that they've elected, if they don't do right, they need to punish those people, because African people are the only people who glorify traitors, people that they've elected, and when they get there, they flaunt wealth, they live in opulence, while the voters live in poverty. So we got to get to a stage where we punish corporates exploiting our people, benefiting, against our people's sufferings. We need not to support their businesses. If the president has business interests, let's say for an example, in Investec, McDonald's, let's not buy McDonald's. If he sells McDonald's to the next person, you don't buy it still, so that anyone who's going to buy MTN or whatever company that a president or ministers own, we distance ourselves. We just target one product. Know that they've got vested interest in many companies. Or if we are fighting Rupert, we decide and say, okay, what is it that Rupert is selling? What is the mainstay of what is selling? We target that one product. I know that they've got the monopoly of all the products. You say, okay, if it's peanut butter, if it's chicken, we target this chicken, we isolate it to, consumer boycott. We don't buy it, because our politicians, they need to listen to us. We need to punish them. And black people must stop this thing of marching all the time. Jewish people don't march. They don't do it. They don't sing in the street. Each time we have a problem, we are singing placards. We need to start using our muscle, our power. Isolate traitors. Don't vote them. Also punish them with our rents and dollars. Don't fund them. And when it comes to traditional leaders, I feel that we have a dual system based on the CODESA compromises, federalism, where IFP was killing people saying that they want federalism, the Zulu King. So as a result, we had 9 provinces. In the past, we never had 9 provinces. We had the state and local government. And I feel that I, for one, I don't have a king. I don't believe that there is someone out there who's got royal blood who must rule over me. Actually, I've decided that even my surname, I'll start to question it. I'm just keeping it, for now. But I'm no longer Zulu if I was Zulu. Because you ask a question now, what is the Zulu kingdom doing for the Zulus? There's so many taxi drivers, taxi owners who are Zulus. They don't even have a share at Toyota. They made Zolabat famous. They made High Ace famous. They made Quantum famous. They brought Toyota to life here in South Africa, but they don't even determine the price. They have no share in the value chain. The Zulu people and their king, they own nothing. Like other kingdoms, be it Xhosa, be it Bapedi, and you ask their chiefs and kings, what's the plan for your own people when it comes to recreation, when it comes to job, when it comes to housing? Those kings have nothing. All they know is to get married all the time, like King Mswati. When you start a business, probably they want a share, like I'm a comrade. When you start a business, they'll ask you, what are you saying? What are you saying? Then you must give in 50%. So for me, I have no king. I don't believe that another man must rule me. It's God and me. And I don't believe in intermediaries. I don't believe, you're Michael Jackson, you're Pope, you're Jacob Zuma, Cyril Ramaphosa. You're not above me. My issue is with God. And one day I wish to meet God, because on a judgment day, fireworks, expect fireworks, because I'll also be judging God. I'll put God on the stands. There's so many questions I'll ask God and say, where was God when these atrocities were happening? And failure to get answers, I'll demand to be God myself.
All right. Moving on, what do you think of the states of our judiciary as a country?
Look, the way we're going, we don't have a judiciary. Judiciary has been sold on a silver platter. Even our Chief Justice, look at what is happening with this commission, the Zondo Commission. It's one-sided. I'm not a fan of Zuma. I don't like Zuma. I never liked Zuma. I don't like all of them. From Mandela, Thabo Mbeki, Kgalema Motlanthe, they are all capitalists who've benefited, heavily benefited at the expense of our people. Abu Zanele Mbeki, they are probably billionaires, all of them. Our judiciary, they omitted the evidence given by CEOs of Eskom, Prasa, against Cyril Ramaphosa. Cyril Ramaphosa at Shanduka, with Glencoe, I think it was Glencoe. They've influenced tenders at Eskom to go their way when they were supposed to solve load shedding. And Zondo says nothing. When he was deputy president, Cyril Ramaphosa, he's been pushing, because he's a businessman, using his influence. That is state capture. We've been under state capture from the Zionists. What is happening to Andile Ramaphosa, who's the son of Ramaphosa? He's mentioned in Busasa. I've met Aglioti. He says, no, the guy is involved. I went to Aglioti's houses. He admits, no, Busasa, they are linked to Busasa. They are not prosecuted. Abozondo. You go to the Please Call Me matter. I mean, it's a clear-cut case. Why didn't the Constitutional Court order the actuaries of both parties and did conclude the matter and get to the determination? Instead of saying Vodacom must also go and make a reasonable determination, the guilty party must go and make a reasonable determination or reasonable offer. That is nonsense. You look at the e-toll. That was my idea. I remember talking in one radio station about how they can challenge the e-toll, how it violates Section 33, the equality clause, because provinces are not, viewed the same. Some provinces have to pay the e-toll, some are not, and we are being triple taxed for the same thing. And I said, these e-tolls, they're against the spirit of the Constitution. But the Constitutional Court, what did it do? It ruled against. I remember Kgang Moseneke saying, Outer did not raise constitutional matters. The e-toll is constitutional all the way. There are so many decisions that are happening. But challenging lockdowns. The lockdowns came in, President just announced the lockdowns over rumors, what is happening overseas. It was a cut and paste. There's nothing you can put on paper and say, hey, because of 1, 2, 3, there are so many illnesses are coming. It was winter. We are experiencing a flu season. It just comes. They claim all the numbers. They take flu numbers and say, the numbers are shooting up. Therefore, we must shut down everything. And we shut down everything. And the courts, lawyers are there. The doctors are there. The teachers are there. The preachers are there in churches. All quiet. It's only me who's been talkative. And I've been arrested for that because I always express an opinion over these issues. So a guy like me must be quiet. Even now, I was arrested for that, because I'm loud. You accuse a guy like me to be saying that he instigated the riots in July 2021. I mean, because those people, they are traitors. And to bring me before the court, it's humiliating to be brought before the court over ANC issues. They know, who instigated. But our people were taking advantage. They are not fans of Zuma. They were taking advantage because the ANC has been looting. The corporate has been looting. So now, but it's our chance. They don't give a damn about Zuma. It's their chance now. Ukuthi yazi bathatha amapilisi ukudla kunabantwana abancane baphethe ikulbag namasimba chips una 5. Utshela ukuthi uyalutha lo muntu ugogo ayalanda amapilisi. Uyalutha lo muntu. They've been looting 500 billion missing. Who's not looting then? Because they're calling our people looter. They are looting. Influencers are looting. Everybody is looting in this country.
So in other words, are you promoting that the youth should go loot just the same way that they have seen the examples of their leaders looting? Is this now incentive or encourage them for them to go loot? And if not, what should the youth be doing in South Africa? What is the role that they should play?
I'm not encouraging them to loot, but I'm not condemning them. I'm not going to condemn South Africans if they're doing exactly what the politicians are doing. The politicians are bigger guys. They're educated. They've looted more than enough since 1994. They don't need to loot anymore. But our people are acting out of desperation. Out of desperation. Probably if I was caught in that situation where I see which I can, benefit. I've never had a TV. I don't have a full fridge. I need 2 cans of Lucky Star fish. I will do the same, probably. I will do the same. I'm not condemning our people for looting. And what our youth should be doing, they should just less focus on alcohol and soccer teams and entertainment, who's the latest DJ, celebrities, because they are so much consumed. Ukuthi ubani wenzani, udata bani, ama-celebrities overseas, ama-influencers, they should worry about things that they can change. I mean, ukuthi Sundowns is going to beat Orlando Pirates does nothing for them. Those are private clubs. So they must worry more, about the state of their affairs. The youth, they're not working. They should vote for themselves. Actually, in all district regions, the youth must pick up one of their own and tell their parents ukuthi mama nangu mntaneni sicela nimvotele, must move away from these parties. Locally, forget nationally, because everything has to be implemented locally. Get there and you vote, I'm an independent youth. And then that independent, nimsayinisa ama-contract ukuthi yazini mfethu siyakubeka la, should you be elected, we want any development eyenzakalayo la ifaka abantu basekasi, uyekulokufaka amalento. These foreigners, because right now you see abantu babuya from Mozambique, from Nigeria, bazoyenza amathende emalokishini, and people who've never suffered. These are people who've had their own BEE in their own countries. They're coming here because they're colluding with the city managers, because they are paying bribes. Some they're dating city managers. So when is the time for South Africans, to enjoy their country if they're gonna put foreigners before them? Foreigners who are parasites coming here to loot. They want everything. Everybody's looting South Africans. And that is criminal for South Africans, to be worried about alcohol and so forth.
Okay. So lastly, I would like to find out what, we read the news. Every time we type your name and we see the Durban riots, and, the riots that gave birth to riots all over the country. What's your case on that?
Look, for me, this case upsets me because it also threatens people because they say, hey, Ike Khumalo, and everybody now put me, in that league, because even how I was arrested, there were about 20 cars in one street, cars on the other street, cars at intersections, traffic cops. It was like they're arresting a Mandela, and yet they were arresting somebody who was asking a genuine question. If people are killed in KZN, the Zulu King comes and says he loves all Phoenix residents, including hooligans. When Kajab is at including those who killed people. Not all Indians are horrible people, but when you come and praise killers, Cyril Ramaphosa came and praised killers. Begicele kept quiet. I was asking a question, many things. I've been asking nangalama fake pandemic. I've been asking how kwenzakalani. So I've been arrested for that. Most of the time, whenever I'm in trouble, it's not because of me. I could be practicing, focusing on myself, like many people. But I don't believe that a black person must only focus on buying cars and houses and alcohol and then you've made it in life. There's a generational wealth that we still have to, create. We need to empower the next person, because I believe that our education, we should use it to empower a man in the street, to lift a Goliath, to lift ourselves and help others. We must leave the world a better place than we found it. But unfortunately, they hate me for that, because I'm not part of those elites. Because everywhere I go, they ask me. I've met many ministers. Some they wanted to be my friends. They say, Ike Khumalo, what do you want? Is it business? Is it tender? I don't want a position. I don't want to be a mayor. I don't want to be a president. I tell them I don't want to be a friend. I don't want to be a tenderpreneur. I want nothing. Infrastructure, ibe right, ibe provided. Then I'm okay. But they hate me for that, because they want me to be corrupted. And you cannot corrupt me when it comes to money. You can try me. Yeah, maybe if you put a yellow bone, then you'll win. But you can't corrupt me. Ngemali ngeke ungicorrupt. Ngikhule ngayithanda imali. So namanje ngiyazama ukuyithanda, but I don't have that thing that I need money. And even when I was growing up, we'll go work with my friends. They will share my money. I'll give it to them. I don't know. I want to love money, but I can't. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Ike, for coming to the interview, and we'll see you next time. Do you have any last words you'd like to say?
The last words, I think you've said almost everything. The last words that I would love to say is that I hope my sister, Deborah Fraser, is buried, in a dignity that she deserves, because she died in a horrible death at the hospital at Baragwanath, where she couldn't even relieve herself, take herself to the toilet. Let me say, at Baragwanath, I'm a nurse strike. When my sister Tembi Nyandeni told me it was not a good picture for a person, somebody silwa izimpizama artist, because you remember when you're fighting izimpizama artist wars are people's wars, because an art must reflect the status quo, must critique, must caution, must guide us. Which means an artist, therefore they must be the spokesperson of every art. And like it was during apartheid in the 80s, our artists were more vocal than politicians. They've done a job cum laude or par excellent compared to MK. MK never fought SADF. They were supposed to fight other soldiers. They are soldiers, I mean. They never did. Oliver Tambo was supposed to fight PW Bot. Never did. He was gallivanting all over in London. You know, Tabanga Silwani London, you know, London, British Empire, driving in a Rolls Royce, rich, buying artwork, pictures of Obama, 8 million, sipping whiskies. The artists, they push Release Mandela campaign, you know, free South Africa, apartheid, you know, must collapse in London, boycott South Africa, sanctions. It was artists, all the time, Miriam Makeba, she sacrificed a career. Miriam Makeba was isolated, she was happening, she didn't have to. She was a star in America, but once she identified with the struggle for South Africa, she married Stokely Carmichael, she was isolated. Poor Letambo, the Kefas, many artists died poor. I mean, we've got Abo Gibson Gent, Abo Ipintombi, you know, theater, protest theater, you know, people who are pushing the struggle better than these politicians who are now in front. You know, today we've got spies in government, people who don't love South Africans. But I hope, you know, the youth and South Africans will defy, you know, these guys. I don't know if you've seen what is happening in Sri Lanka. If you check what's happening in Sri Lanka, the president has fled the country. Some prime ministers have been killed. So South Africans, we don't need to get there. We don't need to get there.
We do not want to get you
no, we don't want to
again.
get there. No, you know, I'm saying we don't need to get there because you cannot control the people. Me, I'm a voice of reason. I'm saying, like, you know, let's do things correctly before people lose hope. You know, that's what I'm saying. But I'm arrested for that because people want me to be a petty bourgeoisie. I would never be a bourgeoisie. I'm a black person. I'm a street guy from day one. You know, no matter I can be a billionaire, I'll never be free if black people or South Africans in particular, they're not free.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Ike, and then we'll see you next time. Cheers.